I absolutely hate this show, and I really don't. Um, I don't think you guys understand how bad this show is. I'll help you. I wish I could fire the showrunners and hire people that know what they're doing, like professionals. Um, this show is so fucking terrible, and what they did tonight to Joel's character, unforgivable. This episode is called The Price, but it's actually should be called The Joke, and I'll get into it. We're going to drink early. We're going to get right on this. Tonight's episode is sponsored by New Amsterdam because I am down. I am so depressed by what I'm watching. My name is Jason J. Daniel. Thanks for joining me. This is the Jason J. Daniel Show. I'm doing Last of Us reviews every episode of season 2, part 2. I'm reviewing it for you. I'm an actor. I have I've worked in the business. I've worked in the business for years, behind the scenes. Now, most recently, in front of the camera. I study film and movies. This is a film study that I do. I just want to get that out of the way for you. If you're watching me, I really appreciate it. I'm live streaming on X. We're live streaming on YouTube, and we're live streaming on Rumble. And so I really appreciate you guys just being a part of the experience. We are not live streaming on Facebook today because I'm going to do a lot of cursing. And my Facebook crowd is like my family and friends, my very Christian friends and family. So sometimes I don't stream to Facebook unless I really want to, but I'm in a bad mood right now with this show. Let me do a quick sound check. Here we go. Sorry about that. Shake my ear up. Sorry. Okay. I know. Bad podcaster. I'm only human, guys. So tonight's episode is called The Price. Really should be called The Joke, man. Turns out this is the penultimate episode of the season. Who would have thought they'd put us out of our misery sooner than we expected? Thanks, guys. I guess next episode 7 of season 2, is the finale. They started to put there's a little preview, after the episode, and I didn't care to watch it because I know what they're going to do. They're going to make us feel like there's going to be a big showdown, and they're going to give us half of the showdown. And then they're going to tell us in season 3, we're really going to give you a really great episode 1 in season 3, and then we're going to give you a really great season 3. So just hang in there, guys. We'll make it up to you because we know it's a shitty season. These guys know it's bad. They're reading the reviews. They know it's bad. They filmed a bad season and they had to live with it. Now, unfortunately, for HBO shows now, they don't write it as they go. A lot of shows do that. They write half the episodes, they start filming it, and then they will adjust the material as things grow and change. No, not these fucking assholes. No, we're so committed to this video game because we're geniuses. We're going to just fucking jam a video game storyboard into your face every week. You're going to love it because you're watching it, because everybody's watching it, and you're going to love it. Well, the joke's on you guys because I don't know if I'm going to watch the next season. I am going to watch episode 7 because I have to pay myself off for putting myself through all this fucking misery. I'm going to have to see how bad they fuck this up and disappoint me. But you couldn't disappoint. Honestly, like, my spirits are really low. They were really low when Joel was murdered. And that's why they're low again, because they basically murdered his reputation in this one. And I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't understand what the point was of, well, they put a couple of hooks in there, right? They really wanted to tell you Joel's a bad piece of shit. They didn't want to give you flaws because it's interesting when a hero has flaws, They basically wanted to rewrite history and say he deserved to die the way he died. He's a bad guy. And it's interesting to me because the showrunners are doing this to their own character that they invested a lot of time and energy into. They're doing this to a character that they built a video game around. He's just as popular as the Ellie character. In fact, the TV show, okay, what we're watching and talking about, he's more popular. When they took him off the show, you saw how people were upset. Now, they filmed a lot of content for this episode beforehand because they knew what they were doing with this fucking time jump episode. It's a mess. We'll get into it. And so I think they thought they were just really clever. And they're just not. They're just not. They're bad writers. It's bad, bad, bad. I'm hoping that everyone hates this show. Everyone does. And they didn't even really go woke in this one. Now, you call it woke. I call it progressive. I don't know. It's not that bad. The whole LGBTQ storyline has never been an issue for me. It's never taken me out of my game. That's not a big deal for me. That's life. Whatever. But they didn't go there like in your face this episode. And I don't know why, because they've been milking it the whole time, but now they didn't. But so that's my little intro. So what we're going to do, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to have our drink. I did a lot of notes. Let me just, by the way, thanks for joining me. And I know a lot of you, my numbers are growing every episode. So thank you. Last episode was my most watched. Well, no, actually the episode after Joel died was my most watched, but the last episode was my second most watched. So thank you guys. If you're watching on X, I really appreciate it, or YouTube. So look, I took notes. I took 7 pages of notes. I like to take notes while I'm watching the show. I'll pause it or rewind it. I study the show. I love it. Sometimes I'll stop and just let me absorb it, right? But this show, I'm really digging in. Big notes, guys. No, dude, this is legit, right? I'm so upset. I'm throwing most of them out. So I'm just going to do a summary. I'm watching my clock here, and I'm not going to spend. Let's move this here. I'm not going to spend the same amount of time that I always do on this episode because it's not worth it. It's utter shit. It is okay. It's well acted. I'll give them that. But it's the worst writing. It's well acted. It's just written by different people, and you can totally tell. In fact, the director of this episode is one of the showrunners. I noticed it, Neely, baby. Neil, if you're watching this, I fucking hate you. Okay? I fucking hate you. You're fucking making me fucking miserable. Hold on, let's do this here. Oh. All right, so here's our mixer. Okay. Let's do it up. Let's do it up. We're doing a half one. We need a full shot tonight. Here's our jiggler, guys. And here we go. Full shot. This bottle is almost done. Oh my God. Oh, I wish you could see how on the line this is. That is so, I don't know if you can see how on the line it is, but let's just do this. Dude, I'm a professional. Okay. I just made that word up, but that's a word. So we're probably gonna polish this off in episode 7. So right on. Thank God they're ending this fucking piece of shit. I'm glad I have you guys to talk to, honestly. Cheers to you guys who have been putting up with this shit. Not me. Well, I guess you're putting up with this shit too. But you're putting up with this show. So let's just get into some of it. I have a lot of notes, here. My name is Jason J. Daniel, by the way. Boom. Jason J. Daniel. Jason J. My name is, there we go. Jason J. Daniel, by the way. Real Jason J. Daniel on TikTok. I have a sports TikTok. I do TV, movies. And if you're watching me on X, I talk politics too. I do interviews. So I'm an all-around podcaster. I just spread myself around, and I like talking. and basketball season's here. WNBA's here, so been doing a lot of that. So, cheers. That was the second cheers. So, thank God, man. The season finale's next week. Cannot take any more of this. I can't, man. Man, I'm literally emotionally drained by this show. So I'm just going to do a synopsis, a quick synopsis of how I feel about this show. And it's not going to be a long episode, guys, because I'm not going to break it down for you. You can watch it. I'll give you some highlights of what was interesting to me, but I'm not gonna break it down. It's pointless now. Like, in fact, next episode, I'm probably not gonna take notes unless I really feel compelled. I'm just gonna give you my feedback, and because they've always failed me. They've always failed us. They have not done anything that's made me happy completely. They have not cut an episode that I thought was a 5-star episode. And for HBO, it's just abysmal. It's an abomination. It's so frustrating because HBO shows are so good. After Game of Thrones, it's been tough. Honestly, like, I can't tell you which HBO show has been like knocking it out of the park that at least catches the imagination of the world. And I'm only going to watch shows that are pretty much, watch and review shows that are catching the imagination of the world because I only have so much time. I can't watch all these episodes of. They put a lot of. I'll just say, there's a lot of crap, I guess, on HBO. A lot of shows that they drop that I'm like, I'll never watch that. I don't have time. It doesn't look that interesting. But with this one has Pedro Pascal, Bella Ramsey, who was a hot property after Game of Thrones. Both of them are Game of Thrones refugees. They took a lot of Game of Thrones ideas, a lot of Walking Dead ideas. These guys mashed up a lot of really great shows and just created a fucking nightmare. The first season was well written. I rewatched it before watching this nightmare of a season, and there's nothing that I thought was poorly done. Like, I can't remember an episode. Honestly, I was like, I can't remember what I'm going through now. I can't remember going through that at all. Now, there were a few times I'm like, this is boring as shit. And there were times it was fucking boring. But there was exciting episodes. Like, for example, most of them, like a couple of examples from season 1 is the episode where they ran into the two guys, the older guy and his little brother that is hearing impaired. He's deaf. And they're running from another woman who's like a mean lady running a group of rebels. It's always like, it's kind of a rerun with these people. It's always a strong lady running a group of rebels, but whatever, that's cool. But anyway, they're on a run from this group of rebels, and I guess you don't know unless you haven't seen it, but they're on the run, and then they get stuck in this I guess Joel and Ellie are going to escape this city area or wherever they're stuck at. I always get confused where they're at night. I just get lost. These episodes all run together because it's really a dark season. Everything's like in night, basically. And they did things that you would do at the nighttime. Joel was really cautious of everything, which made a lot of sense. Now you get to this season, he's cautious of nothing. Everyone acts like there's no zombies around. There's no danger. It's just dumb. So anyway, back to that episode. It was a great episode where the two guys joined forces with Ellie and Pedro Pascal, and then there's this huge battle, and then a mushroom daddy comes out, and it's a nightmare. They're trapped in there's cars everywhere, and then the rebels get in there, and it's a big battle royale, and Joel's up there being a sniper. It's like a video game moment, and saving Ellie from doom, because every time she's going to get attacked by a cordyceps, she's running through this group of cordyceps, and he's sniping them down to give her cover and save her. And then they had a child do like this weird cordyceps thing in the car, which was super cool. like cool stuff. And then the episode ended really dramatically with one of the guys, the little boy gets bit, and Ellie tries to cover it up, and then the next morning he's a fucking monster, and it's a thing. And then it's a great episode, really good. Could have been. I would be interested to go back to season 1 and give you ratings. Like, I could tell you right now, 2 of those episodes were 5-star episodes. I think the last, I think this had 9. Last season had 9 episodes. I just looked before I came on because I was surprised that it's like, oh, 7 episodes. I was totally surprised that this one's going to end early. So I went back and looked, and there was 9 episodes. And so episode 8 and 9 were great, 5-star, and the one I just described, I think, was in the middle, maybe 6, 5-star. Like, they had more better episodes than not. This one's just a clusterfuck. So the one thing, so you're probably looking at the ticker. I had to create a ticker out of this graphic because I had so much to say about my rating. So I gave this episode, and again, I'm not going to break it down. I'm just going to give you some synopsises of it because I'm not going to waste my time on it tonight. It just was so disappointing. I'm not going to waste a lot of time, but so I'm giving this one 2 stars. It's really a 1-star, but the only reason I'm giving it 2 stars again is Pedro Pascal. I can't not give him credit for the hard work he did. He was in most scenes, I think every scene almost in this one. He worked really, really hard, and he came back, which made me happy. So I'm giving this episode only 2 stars. And it started off with promise, of course, but they always fuck me over because Pedro was in the entire thing, and he's so good. And with the terrible writing, he really put some serious emotion into it, made me feel. So it's the only reason why I stayed through it, honestly. Sorry, carbonation, this thing. It's the only reason I continue to watch it, because when I realized how bad this was going to be, I was just so upset. And then what they were doing in the beginning was they gave us this Groundhog Day of birthdays over and over to catch up on the 5 years that we lost between season 1 and 2. So what they did was did a lot of emotional fuckery, which is something you can do in writing. Easy stuff, right? Put a daughter and a dad emotional scene. They did it on purpose to fuck with us because they think that's what we want. They think we're stupid, and maybe we are. Maybe we're low IQ people watching this. They even had a fantastic guest star at the very end. So cool, but they fucking killed him in 5 minutes. And in that scene, they ruined Joel's reputation. They had Joel do 2 things or one thing or whatever, I don't know, that just you can't come back from that as a person. So they fucked his legacy over. And then they had Ellie do things to Joel that we didn't know about that you would never do. Like, you would never do it. You wouldn't do it. You just wouldn't. We'll talk about that. They just don't know how to write a TV show. Like, these guys are so punch drunk on their success from a video game, they think everything's a video game. So they're really lucky I'm giving them 2 stars. They are. So I'll just say, look, this episode was written. How can I say this? Like, the scenes where Joel is having a connection with Ellie, that was written by a writer that understands how to do that. It wasn't these video game knuckleheads. But that person poured it on. They didn't have to, but every scene was emotional. Then they tried to give you all these Easter eggs. Oh, that's why Ellie has a tattoo. Oh, this is when Ellie tried to bang a chick in her room at 17, and that's why Joel's mad. It doesn't make any sense. And then Ellie's like a douchebag all of a sudden at night 17. So, but overall, the showrunners had to put this together. But the whole concept was written by people who just don't understand relationships. They don't understand life. They don't understand the dynamic with parents and children. They don't understand that people will not act like this in these situations. And they took Ellie and Joel and they put them in a house purposely, and they put them in a bedroom, and he buys her a guitar and a birthday cake, and she's got a garage. They purposely take you out of this apocalyptic monster world and give you like a whole relationship drama with them to try to explain whether or not why Ellie had all these axes to grind with a guy that pretty much sacrificed his life. It's just nobody treats Joel like that if you're Ellie and he does that kind of stuff for you. You just don't do that. So anyway, if you watch it, I mean the stuff through everything he did for last season and then the stuff he did in this episode, which they show you in the 5-year gap, it only solidified. What they did was they showed Joel being a really cool guy and trying to be a dad and doing really thoughtful stuff. That it was written by somebody that they wrote him as the ideal husband guy, even though he's not a husband. But basically, they wrote Joel like from the time they got back from the Fireflies thing to where we pick up in the beginning of season 2. They made Joel, they gave you the history and they gave you these time tidbits where they time travel, and they made Joel like the perfect dad. He did cool stuff. I cried in a few of the moments. Like I cried because I'm in it, right? And Pedro makes me cry. He moves me. So, and then they did all that, and at the very end, they're like, Joel's like, really, he's a fucking piece of shit. That's what they did. They had him do something that was fucking terrible that Joel would not do. And it wasn't the killing. It was the lie he told her. So for him to say, I promise you, I'll just jump to the end. So the big I get the big thing, the reason, so they revealed to you the reason why Ellie's mad at him and she's a fucking dick to him up until the day he died was because he promised he wouldn't kill the Eugene guy who's married to Gail, and Gail's mad at Joel. Now we know why. He promised her like this fucking Eugene guy was dead. He was bit in the fucking shank and he was a wrap. So he had like 45 minutes or something before he turned into a cordyceps dude. And so Ellie like wants to take him back to say bye-bye to his wifey, which is not realistic in this world. Like they all know you don't do that shit. Like he's a fucking time bomb. Okay. Like we're going to bring a guy back to the, you're not doing it. They've already established in these rules, you take him out. You got to go. Okay? You're compromised. You got to fucking go see Jesus Christ. Goodbye. Okay. We're going to kill you. So in this moment, Joel's going to waste him. And he's like, the rules, motherfucker. I got to kill you. Sorry. It's been nice seeing you. You do the same thing to me. There are rules. And there are well-established rules in this world. And then Ellie like begs for mercy. Can we give him time to talk to his wifey who's a bitch? And he's like, okay. She's like, don't kill him before I leave. Now, nobody would say that. They may, I'll just get into it. They wouldn't do it. Ellie is loyal to Joel, and she wouldn't say that. She wouldn't be like, hey, promise me you're not going to do it. Well, whenever somebody does that in a situation, they're breaking the promise. So in writing, like that's, you don't want to make, that's in a TV show, that's what you do. You don't make somebody promise till they're, let's make or break it. And so he says, I promise I won't kill him. And then Joel, kills the fucker, whatever. And then Ellie comes back and he's like, look, I'm sorry. I told you I promised, but I'd kill him. And then Joel says, hey, we're just going to tell this story. We have to be in alignment. Let's just keep this simple. It's not worth it. This is mercy for his wife. She doesn't need to see him like this, and we can't bring him back. He's a danger. He could bite me. And it's really about him. Ellie's immune. So he's saying, I can't take this guy back. We're risking me. That's normal. That in this world, you're not taking chances, right? So, and the guest star is Joe Pantoliano. Joe's amazing. Oh my God, to say it. Oh, here it is. I have it here. Panto Pantolagano. He's in the Sopranos, The Matrix, Memento. He's a legend in 150 movies and TV shows. Pantolino, I think. Joe, he's amazing. You know him right away. He's so good. He plays the same guy, but he's so good at being that guy. So he's the guest star. He's Eugene. And anyway, so Joel breaks this promise, and Ellie gets so angry with him, and we'll circle back to this. She gets so angry with him, and apparently, because Joel broke the promise, Ellie's so mad. It doesn't matter about the situation, or if this is something that you should never make somebody promise. Joel knows best. He's the guy. Okay, Ellie, you might want to be the guy, but you're not the guy yet. Okay, Dad. And so there's a scene where she does something completely. No, she does two things that you would not do. I said earlier one. Then she does two things that you would never do to somebody who you were loyal to, that you understood, you've been with for years, and you understand how it works. You're in this world. She's not a fucking rookie. She's a survivor. So all of a sudden, Ellie doesn't live like a survivor. She lives like an idiot teenager. And then but then 9 months later, between I guess Eugene is killed. You can call it murdered, but it's a mercy killing. Killed between 9 months and then the dance, and then Joel dies the next day. So there's a 9-month gap there. So she becomes a total douchebag for 9 months. Nobody does that. Especially with somebody like Joel, who sacrificed so much for Ellie. So it's just confusing character dynamics. They don't understand character arcs. It was so badly done. And if you're going to do that to a character where you have them do bad stuff that's unforgivable or whatever, you have them do it when they're alive, and you give them a chance of redemption. You don't kill them brutally and then everyone loves them. You kill them. You make everybody suffer that as an audience. Then you circle back with a fucking dumb episode where you basically ruin his reputation. You're like, karma. He deserved it. And then there was Easter eggs in there that gave you the sense that it was karma and it was fate, right? And that just is dumb. I don't know. So, I'm really upset with what they did to Joel's character in this. I'm upset when they killed him, and I'm upset what they did to his character. So I'm just going to give you a synopsis, guys, tonight. I'm not going to break it down. This is the penultimate episode, just a huge fucking fail. So here's the synopsis. You start. Okay, so the last episode ended so good. It was so good. Half of it. Ellie's got Nora trapped, and she's torturing Nora. And you're like, okay, what's going to happen? And Ellie's starting to give Nora the same type of torture they give to Joel. And then she's interrogating Nora. Where is Abby? Okay. So great scene, great moment. They even do a montage, take you back there. And then they go right to killing the vibe. They go to this whole time travel thing where you go back when Joel's a kid or a teenager or whatever, 18 or whatever. And Tommy's really young. I don't know, 15 or 13. He looks young. And as they're older characters, there isn't an age gap that's that obvious, but whatever. Again, inconsistent writing just for the sake of it. I don't know, casting. They wanted a younger kid. I don't know. So they do this thing, and you find out Joel's dad's a cop. And they set this thing up where Joel stands up to his dad, and his dad respects him and says, I wish, hopefully you can do better than my dad did for me. Then they talk about the grandpa who's a fucking monster who broke Joel's dad's jaw at 10. Just monster stuff. Like, guy would be in jail, right? But of course, in this world, everybody gets away with bad shit. So apparently Joel's in this line of abusive dads. And then he wants to be Ellie's dad because he lost, his first daughter. And so Joel's trying to be better. And then the only reason why they put that in the beginning, and it was well acted, by the way. The whole thing, I want to tell you, whole thing was well acted. Well acted. I don't have a problem with the acting at all. Sometimes I do. Whole thing was well acted, mostly because you have Pedro anchoring it. And he's in every scene. He's really good. And that's why the acting's good. When you pay a star to be a star and they're at that level, he's got 20 years of experience. You don't just end up there overnight. When you're at that level, then you get really good performances. Because clearly the director is not a director. He's a fucking showrunner for fucking video games. He's not a director. And so him directing this episode, I was like, that was a real red flag for me. When his name popped up, I'm like, no, dude. Here we go. A fucking video game dude trying to be a fucking director. These guys have too much power. I hope the HBO guys go, you fucking killed this fucking show, man. You fucking killed this show. Like, I hope they take the criticism and go, we can't do this again with you assholes being the directors and the writers and the showrunners. You're fucking bad at this shit. Go do video games, douchebags. So mad. It's a waste of Pedro's acting. Anyway, he was really good in it. So the guy that played the dad was really great. He was super emotional. But the thing, too, with this is in acting, you don't go hard on the emotions every other scene, man. You wear the audience out. It's not good storytelling. And then by the time you get to the end, people are like, I'm worn out. And then it's not as emotional as the beginning. And you're like, well, okay. And then usually people are in a bad mood because you fuck with their emotions. And they're like me and they're not open to your mistakes when you can't write an ending. That makes sense. So just bad stuff. So this idiot guy's being the director, this idiot, whatever. Look, he's rich and famous, whatever. I can call him whatever I want. So, they're just writing dynamics in this show that make no sense. Joel's dad was a great actor. I don't know who he is, but I'm going to look him up. Fantastic thing. But they did this whole little vignette in the beginning, so Joel at the very end can say the same sentence to Ellie. There's no point. That's bad writing, dude. You can say at the end, my dad told me a story. My grandfather broke his jaw one day when he was 10 years old. My grandfather was a terrible guy. He should have been in prison. And my dad didn't want to pass that to me. And I just want you to know, Ellie, I'm trying to, I want to be better. I want to be better than him. Like that's mission accomplished. Write it in the end. No, it's just dumb, man. Dumb. These guys don't know what they're doing. They're wearing us out. So now, so that was like haunting you, and they get into the show, and then it's a series of time jumps and time jump here and flashbacks, fucking time cop, fucking Back to the Future, fucking done with the time stamp shit with these fuckers, man. I'm so annoyed. So, I just feel bad for Pedro, man. He really has his name on this shit season. God damn. They just had no intention of making this a show that worked for people. Their intention was to copy the video game and give you a show that video gamers can go, oh, I like that Easter egg. That matches. Oh, that dog was red in the video game. He's brown in the show. Oh my God, they changed the Firefly uniforms. That's what they're doing for you. All of you idiot video game worshipers. Look, you need to understand one thing about me. Okay? This is a film study for adults. It's a mature, if you're a teenager and you love the show and you're mad at me because I'm upset, don't watch it. This is for adults. This is an 18. I'm cursing. I'm talking about mature content. This show has serious sexual content in it. Super duper over the top violence. You shouldn't be watching it if you're under 18 or under 17 or whatever. I'll just say 18 to be safe with the authorities. You should not be watching it. And so what I'm doing is the same. It's an 18 plus show. It's a mature look at the show. The video game doesn't matter to me. You need to know that. Remember, the video game doesn't matter. So you guys that are worshiping the video game, you're fucking killing me. You're fucking killing me. So thank God the season finale is here. So, I just hate these showrunners. I do. It's a total waste of my time to watch this show. I feel robbed of my time. I really do. They had some very good acting in the beginning. They had some great scenes, but there was no payoff. I'm going to hang in there because I want to finish this review series and for you guys, but it's so frustrating and I need to talk about it. I like to talk about it. I don't know what their point is, what they did to Joel. It was just a joke to me. We'll get into that in a second before I wrap. This won't be too long tonight. I just hate. So if you're joining late, I hated this episode. I'm reviewing episode 6. I hated it so bad. I don't want to waste a lot of time on it. So I want you to know, I hate it. So one thing that I'll give you a couple of thoughts. Here were my thoughts going. Oh, the graphic should be at the top, but here are my thoughts going into episode 6 tonight. Okay, I had some legitimate. It's so crazy. I want you to know where my thoughts were. I want you to know where my mind was. Okay, here were my thoughts going into episode 1. Okay, last episode started terrible, and all of a sudden it was fantastic. Will this be a 5-star episode? Well, clearly it's not. Usually episode 6 is the best one in the season. Clearly it's not. These guys don't get it. Now, I think it's interesting they only gave them 7 episodes. I think that's telling. I think HBO was like, this is a fucking mess. Get through it. Because HBO knows. These executives know. And they're probably telling them the same thing I'm telling you. This is a shit show. Get through it. We'll give you 7 episodes, which is short. See, I was like, what? Tonight I figured that out. That stood out to me because when you have a show this popular doing mega numbers, last season was 9 episodes. This is 7. 2 reasons why. 1, you kill off the main character. It's not Ellie, it's Joel. He's a main character. That's why people watched it. When they casted Paige, if you video game nerds, let me just help you. When they casted, when Pedro was cast, that sent shockwaves through the entertainment world because it was like joining forces. This guy that does big franchises, huge franchises, now another franchise. It's going to do huge numbers. HBO was amped. The video game nerds everybody was amped. You were amped. The buzz was hot. Bella Ramsey was attached after. Oh, that's cool. She was a throw-in. That's interesting. Let's see what she does. She's the lady, the young girl that was it House? What was it? What house was she? I forget. Man, I'm trying to remember. I used to know these things, but it's a TV show. So she goes out. Her death was gangster. She goes out in a battle. I think it was the battle. It was like the battle of the battle of the night battle, whatever. Like the final battle, one of the final battles. Sorry, getting my water. Anyway, so everybody was like, "That's cool. This is a cool casting, cool, right?" It wasn't like Bella Ramsey. Oh my god! Then cool. Let's throw in Pedro. That's cool. No, Pedro was the dude. So when they wrote him out, the HBO guys were probably like, "Are you kidding me, dude? We're giving you 7." They cut their budget. You don't have a show that awesome and get like 2 episodes cut. So that shows me a lot, which was they're like, this is terrible. Once you kill Joel, there's no coming back from it. And there wasn't. The season was over. They should have killed him at the end. That would have been fucking better. Like this whole thing, like this episode should have been episode 1, man. It would have been a cool, just watch it. The way, if you haven't watched it, the way they did it was really cool. And I was watching halfway through. I'm like, well, thanks, man. This would have been a really cool episode 1. We don't need the secrets. Nobody needs secrets hanging over us. We knew the secrets. So let's just get in there and show Ellie growing and being a douchebag, right? Which was super interesting. That would have been a really cool first episode. Then you get into the other stuff. And then you have maybe Joel die in this one, right? That would have been cool. But see, you couldn't have this wasted. When they killed Joel, was it in number 2? I'm thinking, okay, we're going to, go for revenge and it's going to be interesting. But no, then they give you a 3-month time jump. The next episode, everybody's over it, which was confusing. You watch my other episodes. I got it. I get deep into it. And they just never recovered. So to me, it's like you could take these episodes and switch them. That would have improved it tremendously just to do the episodes in the right order. That would have been great. But they fucked it all up. So they give you this episode that clears up all the confusion in the last 4 episodes. And then they just so here's my biggest thing, and I'll just wrap. I'm at 40 minutes. I should wrap this up because I don't want to waste more time on it. But tonight, they do it. So basically, what happens is they create this narrative where Joel does some really cool stuff for her, and he's in love with her as a daughter. It's all really great, and made me cry. It really did, because I have a daughter, and I'm like, wow, I would have done this stuff. It was like I'm getting emotional thinking about it. Like the stuff he did was like, I love you. So they show him creating this major bond, and then all of a sudden she's 17. Like they give you like every birthday up into the birthday before he dies, and when she turns 19, and then she's almost 20 when he dies because it's 9 months later. Okay, so they give you these birthdays, and then it's really cute. He builds her a guitar. You see all the Aha tape, right, from the Aha Take On Me song. None of it. It's fine. You give me this stupid instrument. It's not a payoff, guys. It's not a payoff. It's like, okay, that only annoyed me to go, okay, well, you're trying to make that stupid song it's not a payoff. And then, again, they're in this world where it's like all cozy, and they give you this daughter dad thing. They give you these time jumps, and then as you time jump and you progress, Ellie is supposed, the showrunners at the end in this, I watched the behind the scenes just a little bit. I was so annoyed. I only watched a little bit. They're like, you see their relationship deteriorating. No, you didn't see deteriorating. You saw her being just a bitch to him, and him trying to be a good dad, which was their dynamic, whatever. So, it gives it. So they jump right into this after the last episode where I'm going, hey, how bad is Nora going to be fucked up after Ellie tortures her? I'm like, really? I want to tell you guys, all week I was waiting to see. And so I'm so mad that they did this where they didn't even go back to it. And then at the end, spoiler, they cut to a scene where Ellie, they give you all the memories. Then supposedly while they give you the reason why Joel and Ellie had no relationship, and Ellie and Joel like brought karma on himself because of Eugene, which made no sense because he's not that pivotal of a character. And Ellie found out the secret of the Fireflies, but they kept that hidden from us. So they just did a lot of fuckery to the audience. And I don't understand why an audience would like that. I don't. Unless you're a video game audience and you know the story. And you're not surprised. Then cool. But then why are you watching it? Because that just seems super lame to me. Like if you are a video game person that worships this show and you're watching it just to see how it matches the video game, that is just so low IQ theater to me. Like, what a life you have. We're supposed to watch television to be entertained and take us out of our world and have our imagination open up and be surprised, not watch a video game recreation. That's just you being controlled by AI. That's just frustrating to me. I'm old school. So I'm never going to be excited about a video game being transferred over unless it's changed up in an original story, which apparently they can't do with this one, or they can't do without being hyper clumsy. So I lost where I was going with this, but okay, so the relationships, so at the very end. So at the very end, after all this, then they cut to a scene of Ellie coming out of, it's raining, and she's coming out of where she tortured Nora, where the Fireflies were, and she's, I guess, done. And then you see her walking to the theater by herself, wide open, apparently not hiding. Apparently there's been gunshots and everybody's chasing her, and she just raided that place and broke into it. How she got out, we'll never know, right? What happened to Nora? So apparently now they're going to time jump us next week. It's just why? It's preposterous. So then Ellie's walking to the theater and it cuts to black. So I'm waiting all week to see how bad Nora was fucked up and to see the end of that, which would have been super cool. I mean, I could have taken a scene where you cut to it, Nora's dead and Ellie's kind of cleaning up and she finished the job. I could have taken something, but no, they rob us of that. And then I'm also asking myself, Josh Peck showed up. Am I going to see, will we see more Josh Peck? No, of course you won't. Of course you won't. Will I get to see Jeffrey Wright and Bella Ramsey have a really good scene together soon? I'm like super interested. I guess call me crazy. I like the art form. Call me crazy. I like really good acting. I mean, I guess I'm dumb because I just want a show to challenge me emotionally and intellectually. I'm paying for it to watch. Call me crazy. So I'm thinking maybe this award-winning professional actor who's got years and years in the business, maybe he'll do something really tremendous with Bella, who's a new. I mean, she's been in it for what? Well, not too new. I don't know, 5 or 6 years, whatever. When Thrones ended, she was in the last season or two, right? So she's been doing it for a while. I'm like, let's see where this goes. Of course, we don't see them. So, and I'm thinking, okay, this is what I'm thinking going into it. Hey, to make this show interesting again, we probably need an important death. So that was the only thing I was right on with, is they did give us an important death. I was feeling that coming up for some reason. They gave us an important death. Important for them to create some weird karma thing for Joel, but not important for us as the audience. They killed Eugene, who was played by Joel Pantalino. Joe, I love you. Sorry, I can't say your last name. So it was just dumb. So let me just tell you what was really killing me is, so Ellie turns on Joel because, so the real crux to the thing is, apparently they move past the Firefly thing. Joel's trying to be a good dad. Ellie is smoking pot. How they're now getting pot there, I don't know. They can get anything now in this world. She's got pot. She's sex, drugs, and rock and roll. She's 17. There's a scene where a 19-year-old girl's in her bedroom and they say later on experimenting with sex. I don't know how this show gets away with that stuff and doesn't get canceled. Let's be honest. Last season, there were a whole lot of conversation about Ellie being a young lesbian. This season, they even mentioned that again when she's like in the flashbacks before she's of age. And then they have she's 17. They have a scene where Joel catches her in a 19. They say she's not, they established the age thing. And Joel's like, you're only 19. Joel's the only one that seemed to be upset about this. Apparently, we're all cool with this. So I just want to say to all of you people that love this show because it's woke. First of all, it's not woke. I mean, there's nothing that woke about it. It's like pretty mainstream. But the only thing that really surprises me is that you guys are cool with the fact that Ellie's underage, but they're really pushing her sexuality underage. It's okay. It's weird to me, but you guys are cool, I guess. Whatever. So they do a thing where it's like 17, 19. And if you would think the one thing I'm not going to see is you guys on X bitching about that, right? You bitch about all sorts of other stuff that doesn't exist because you want to claim to be super woke about whatever you claim is your thing, your show or your movie that, is your vehicle to get your political opinion out. But when the show does stuff that's really questionable, you should be woke about. You're not talking about that. So cool. We'll see how many people are concerned about that. That was weird to me. I was like, what? It was weird to Joel. So he busts her for like, I mean, this would not be cool in like the real world, not this world now. I mean, maybe in the 70s when that kind of stuff went down all the time, but not now. So anyway, she's going through this time where she's being a douchebag to him because she's, growing separate. She moved to the garage because Joel's cramping her style. Ellie's obsessed with moths. Joel goes to Gail and goes, what do moths mean? And Gail, well, moths mean death. And then Joel's like, so Ellie's either the harbinger of death because she's obsessed with moths, or moths are just essentially like this foreshadowing of death, which is dumb. We don't need foreshadowing. He's dead, motherfuckers. Like, what are you doing? And then Ellie, there's a scene where Ellie sees fireflies and gets like, and Joel's like, what do you see? And she's like, nothing. She walks away and they go to it. I'm thinking it's something sinister in the woods. I think it's the 14. No, 15. It's when she's 15. Because every birthday is a flashback day. And it turns out to be fireflies, which is like foreshadowing. Whatever. Come on, he's already dead. It's just cheesy stuff like, ooh, fireflies. No kidding. We had an episode where they executed him, and you made us watch it. So then it's just written by people that don't understand people. They don't understand dynamics. They don't understand. So then, so apparently, okay, so you get through this, then you get to her 19th birthday, okay? This is where it all goes down. Why Joel is a dick, and Ellie has a right to be a bitch to him. Okay, so there actually, let me go back. There's a one funny scene on the 15th birthday. I loved it, where Ellie was then the birthday cake. They misspelled her name and they put Eli, which was funny. So I thought that was funny. So which was supposed to be funny, but it's hilarious to me. It was a good moment, and how Pedro played it off was really good. It was well written by a person that knows how to write. You can just tell those moments were written by a TV writer, not the other moments, the ones that should have been. So 19th birthday, they get into a situation, they're out. Ellie is going to confront Joel because she wants to know what happened to, she's haunted by what happened the day I was supposed to give my life for the cure or whatever. And so she's going to confront him. She doesn't have an opportunity. They decide to go out for her first tour of duty. He's taking her out. And then they go to save Eugene, who's a douchebag, gets himself in trouble. And, well, not a mean douchebag, but a dumb douchebag. He gets bit. This is Eugene, the Gale Eugene that, they did the foreshadowing. Now it makes more sense. When Joel was in Eugene's house and saw Eugene's boots, and then Gale hated Joel because of Eugene's death and blah, blah, blah. The writers of this are trying to connect to you. They hit you pretty hard over the head with it. And they're trying to tell you, in this world, Joel died because of the way he handled Eugene. Karma for that. Dumb. In fact, when Joel kills Eugene, which is a mercy killing, he wraps him up and drags him behind his horse, and there's a blood spot on his head, and it's on the sheet. It's the same exact scene when they drug Joel. So they on purpose, they made you stare at it and made it a thing. So they're clearly telling you, in this world, the writers killed Joel because of Eugene. So dumb. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. A non-consequential character is the karma for a very important pivotal character in this entire fucking universe. So dumb. Or franchise. So they get in this situation where Joe Pantoliano he shows up, which is great. He's really great. He kills it. He's so good. He's bit, but he's kind of complaining. Joel's like, gotta kill you, baby, which is normal. Ellie's like, can you not kill him? Let's have some mercy. And Ellie does this like DUI test on him, which we didn't even know that was a test. She pulls and she goes, okay, he's got an hour. What? So there's a test where where you know how long it's going to be before you go cordyceps out on a person, like vamp out. There's like a test. You got a clock, and she has no clocks. How's she going to know she got an hour? So anyway, she's like, we got an hour, and Joel's like, okay, well, I got to kill him. And Ellie's like, can you promise me you don't kill him? Promise me. And Joel looks at her and goes, I promise. Just go get the fucking horse. So Ellie goes to get a second horse. It takes her a long time. And during that time, clearly they give you a time frame. So when Ellie says he's got an hour, he doesn't have an hour because he's been bit for God knows how long. And they get there, and Joel's he's the wise leader. He's the dad. He's like, look, I understand. You don't want to be bloodthirsty, because she's bloodthirsty at this point. She's already killed people, but apparently we forget that. Inconsistent writing. Joel says to her, I understand. But the point is, he's like, I understand what you're saying. You think he has an hour, which means he has 30 minutes. We just got here. It wasn't like they walked up, he got bit, and they're like, start the clock. Just dumb stuff in this world, man. It makes me crazy. Dumb, inconsistent writing. It's fucking dumb. So we're supposed to hold Joel accountable for assuming Eugene has an hour on the clock. Nobody fucking knows this. In fact, they get a call, hey, there's a zombie attack. Can you get down there? Clearly it took time. So you can assume in the best case scenario, they got 35 minutes to get this fucker back. And there's no time. So Ellie's like, we can get him back to go see Gale. And Eugene's like, can I just see Gale at the gates? Can you just have Gale come out? What? So you can vamp out and monster bite her at the best moment? Come on. Of course, if they, all logic says, if they bring this fucker back, he's going to start vamping out. And then they're going to be dealing with this asshole. And they got 5 minutes, right? So Joel's thinking, I don't want to. Joel is thinking, nobody wants that shit. I got it. So in his mind, he's thinking this, but Ellie's not thinking right. That doesn't make sense. Not to her character. And she's been loyal to Joel through everything. And this is where I'm going with how dumb these writers are and how insulting they are to us. Is Joel and Ellie have been thick as thieves, man. And Ellie's like, well, Joel, whatever you say, I'm there. Not today. So she tells him not to do it illogically. And then Joel's like, and then makes Joel promise, which is a dumb writing thing. You never make a character. It's just bad writing, man. It's like these guys didn't even go to school for writing. It's so bad. You never make a character commit to a promise because you know the promise is going to get broken. We all know that. So, and if Ellie doesn't know it, it means she's dumber. And then later on, you reveal she's like, I knew you were going to lie. Like, come on, man. So why are you even arguing? So the time they took to argue this was 5 minutes, right? So they're just, these showrunners are treating us like idiots, and they're not thinking time matters. And that's been the whole problem with the show, is they don't think your time matters or my time matters, and they're wasting our time. They're not writing this going, we need every moment of the show to fucking pop. So these people are done, and they're like, I want the next episode. That's how TV works. That's how binge TV works, especially streaming. Like Sons of Anarchy, for example. Sopranos. The Strange. Shows like that. There's shows that you could name that you love. You know those shows. They're so good. Battlestar Galactica is another one. They're written so well. You're like, oh my God, I got to stay up. Like people will stay up all night watching these episodes because they can't stop. They get addicted. This is just dumb writing that makes you mad and frustrates you. And then guys like me get on the internet and bitch about it. Anyway, I'm going to try to wrap this up in an hour. I was not going to do a full hour, but here we are. Okay. So I had a lot to bitch about. So Ellie's breaking all the rules that we have established. And so we're supposed to forgive her for that because, we have to break all these rules to set up a scenario that's unrealistic so she can hate Joel over a guy she doesn't even really fucking know. So they introduce Eugene. So we have no connection to him other than he's a great actor in real life. So gives us a connection, which is a smart thing. They probably thought we need a guy that's so established that like, oh my God, people are surprised and you can get past how dumb this scene's going to be. Honestly, that's what they do. Like, oh my God, this scene's stupid. We got to write this in. How do we fix this? You write yourself in the corner. Okay, let's get a really good actor. He's going to, the punch will be, oh my gosh, is Joe Pantoliano from Memento, from The Matrix, from Sopranos. Oh my God, he's so great. And that's what I did. I'm like, oh my God, cool Joe. So I'm wrapped up in that, not thinking this whole thing is nonsensical, but I'm feeling it's going off the rails because I know they're gonna fuck this up. I just knew it. So Ellie does the cordyceps DUI test. She leaves, makes Joel promise. Joel gives her a convincing promise, and then he walks him to like the shore, and then so Eugene, who's been out there in the woods, apparently doesn't know where he's walking. So Joel keeps guiding him and keep going here, takes him down to the shore, and it's like this beautiful sunrise or whatever, or sunset. And then Joe's like, Eugene's like, oh, I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna kill me. And Joel's like, well, look, dude, what do you expect? Like, it's taking us 10 minutes. Ellie's been gone for 20. Your time's up, motherfucker. On top of that, his time was up. So this is how dumb the writers are. The writers want you to feel bad for Joel, like he did something that was wrong, but he was working with the established rules of this universe. That's why I hate these writers and these showrunners, because they just don't think their own rules apply. And that's when you know a show's off the rails, is when these guys have to break their own rules to get to a silly point. That made no sense. So he walks him down there. They've gotten, I'm thinking there's no time left to get him on a horse. And then they have this moment where he's like, and Joe's like, Eugene's like, I got to see my girl Gail. I got to see Gail. And it's well acted. So good. It's a guy that's looking at death. It's hard to pull that off. And so Joel's talking him through it. He's like, dude, he goes, just imagine you'll see your face, and you can see anybody's face if you can imagine it. And he's like, and then Eugene's like, I see her. he has a moment of sublime order. Like, and a lot of people say before death, you have a sublime moment, which is like, oh, no big deal. You accept it. And then they cut to black. Joel wastes him, sends him to Jesus land. And then he's dead, bleeding, blood, brains are splattered. And Joel's like just chilling, like dealing with it. He's got to kill the guy. He didn't want to do it. Ellie walks back to the horse and she's like, oh my God, like not knowing this is a rule in this world that everybody does. Come on, man. This is what you do in this world. Now you're upset over it. Now it doesn't make sense to you. Come on, man. So then Joel goes, look, I'm sorry, man. We had no time. It took you forever to get the horses. Come on, man. Come on. He didn't have an hour. He had fucking could vamp out any time. So they go back, they drag his body back, they show you this thing where it looks like what Joel eventually, again, all this foreshadowing, the karma. They bring it back, they give you the moment that we've all been interested in, is the Gail Eugene moment, which they made such a big deal out of, and it's not a big deal. Why they made a big deal out of it and made it pivotal, I'll never know, because it doesn't fucking matter to this universe. These two characters are not pivotal, man. Not important. So why are you going to hold that against Joel? He's just doing what he's got to do. Yeah, he was kind of ruthless. They wrote it to where Joel's being ruthless, but I mean, what are you going to do? So he gets over there and he makes Ellie go, hey, we're going to lie to them. He straight out says, we're going to, So yeah, it's kind of dastardly, but I mean, come on. You don't need to say, hey, I marched him out there and killed him, because the truth hurts. So Gail walks out. Joel's like, look, his last thoughts were of you. He said he loves you, which was true. And, we just wasn't any time, which is true. So he killed himself. Now, it wasn't true. But for some reason, Joel thought that would be easier more palatable. So Tommy's out there, no words, but he shows up. We get a little Tommy action. And then Gail's hugging Joel. Oh my God, thank you. Cool. That would have been perfect. In that moment, Ellie owes nobody anything. You've got to go character motivation. So then when a character does something really stupid or mean or nasty or vicious, you got to think, what's the motivation for this character? Joel's was in motivation land, except the promise, which made no sense. But anyway, that's the moment where the character was in, so he had to make that choice. Joel's character worked with the motivations that he has. Ellie didn't. So then she goes, then she shocks everybody and says, that's not true. Joel's a liar, and Joel executed him. There was time. Like all this bullshit that was not true. So she was the real liar. I mean, she told some of the truth. Just dumb. So she betrays Joel, which was worse than what Joel did to Gail. And then Joel turns around and he's like, are you fucking kidding me? And then Gail looks at Joel, what the fuck? Get away, and slaps him. Okay, whatever. So Gail actually handled it pretty well, I guess, in that situation. So later on, Gail says, I understand what you did. I think it was episode 1, which made more sense. She's like, I hate you for it, but I understand it. Well, cool. So, but Ellie, at that moment, Ellie betrays Joel. And so you're supposed to think that's where Ellie is losing faith in Joel. Then it jumps to 9 months later. They put you in the dance where Dina and Ellie do the kiss, and Seth comes out, you dykes. And then Joel is upset. So they give you a little more of that scene where Joel is sitting at the table. But for 9 months, because Joel killed Eugene and did the right thing for Eugene and the right thing for his wife, the right thing. I mean, let's hypothetically say Joel brings that fucker back with 5 minutes. He vamps out, starts biting everybody. Or maybe he vamps out and bites Joel in the fucking heel while he's riding his horse back. Come on, man. There's no way around that makes sense to the story. He wasn't that important to take all these chances with. So Ellie betrays Joel. To me, they're out of character and really mean. Betrays him. There's no point to it. Then 9 months later, you dykes, you go to that scene. And then you go back to the scene where Joel's playing guitar on the steps. And they show Ellie, they give you the same footage again. But then they throw a twist in there and they give you a scene where Ellie walks up and then starts having a talk with Joel, which is what they cut out from us earlier in the season. They're just lying to us as writers. It's bad writing. It's straight up bad writing. It's like, okay, now We're going to give you a scene that you didn't know about where they really did reconcile. Bad writing. Because it takes away the sting of what you already established. The fact that Ellie and Joel didn't really have a final conversation, you thought, was very powerful. It gave you serious connection with both of them, right? It's a human connection. Then instead, the reality is, it turns out they had a talk, and Joel tells her the truth about the fireflies and starts crying and like, hey, I love you. I did everything I could for you. You have no clue. And then Joel and Ellie establish she was the cure, which is preposterous. No one knows. And they were rolling the dice. Even that one lady, I forget her name, that Joel killed at the end, they're rolling the dice. And Joel's like, she's going to die, but you don't know? Well, we're going to save the world. Nobody knows. It was for Joel to save Ellie from that death was super logical. And that, like, it was good. It was a good writing move. And then he said to Ellie, I would do it all over again. You don't know what it's like when you love a daughter, when you love it. And that is powerful. In that moment, though, they had him crying way too much. I love Pedro, but the director, crying is in acting. There are two ways to go. Now, when you're at Pedro's level, you're going to cry and they're going to let you go. The director's not going to pull you back. But there are times they should pull you back and go, we're not going to cry all the way. Give us a half cry. Let the audience feel it. Let's let Ellie do a little bit too, right? If you half cry, it draws, right? That's the director's job. Not every actor, a lot of actors that are fantastic do 4 or 5 scenes. They read, you work with that. It's an art form. You don't quite know right away, right? Sometimes it's not one take. So but this guy Neil has no experience directing. Doesn't know what he's doing, and he didn't direct it right. So it just was a fail for me. And he's like blubbering and stuff. I'm like, you're pulling me out of it. And then he's like, she's like, I was the cure. He's like, yes. I'm like, no, you don't know that shit. You could have at least said, nobody knows, man. I couldn't take that chance to lose you. The dialogue was bad. Scene was shitty. Didn't need it, So then Ellie goes, I can't forgive you, but I'll try. And it's like, come on, man. Come on, man. Of course, somebody saved your life. They kept you from dying. You don't go, I'm not sure if I can forgive you. Come on. Then she goes, wait a second. But that's a kicker. He says, I saved you. And she goes, I was the cure. I was to die. That was my purpose. Nobody says that. Nobody says no, not that age. Not somebody who hasn't lived life. You're not in that headspace. You're not. You're not altruistic like that. Especially this character that's completely douchey and had not developed an arc where they had this connection with, like, I'm the savior. So her motivations are completely dumb and selfish. It makes no sense. And then she calls him selfish. You're selfish. What? He saved you from dying pointlessly because there was no guarantee. And he gave you a life. He sacrificed for you. He saved you for years. He saved you on the road. He's turned his life around. He wants to be your dad. He didn't owe you a thing, but took you on. You were an orphan, put a roof over your head, gave you everything, saved your life numerous times, and then you say you're selfish? So I'm done. That's it. So I'm done with this show. I'll watch the last episode, but I'm not going to break it down. I'm just going to give you a synopsis. If they pull it off, cool. Even if they have a knockdown, drag-out fucking ninja, Rambo, fucking Jesse starts shooting up the lights, they would have to blow me away with action that I could not. They'd have to blow me away with action where I'd be like, they'd have to blow me away. They'd have to just blow my mind for me to not give it already. I'm writing it off. So I hope that you appreciate this. I hope it helps you because it's a bad show. If you are struggling, is this a good show or not? It's a bad show. Don't feel guilty. It's a bad show. For some reason, there's a lot of shame out there with the video game. They were doing that to me. The video game people were shaming people that hate the show. It's a shitty show. Forbes wrote it down. Fucking all sorts of different articles I read are killing the show. They're like, this show's rudderless. What's going on? Then you introduce really good like really good guests. They're like bringing in really good actors, doing nothing with them. I mean, look, Catherine O'Hara. I hate her character like as a vehicle, but she's awesome. Not doing much with her this season. It's crazy. She had like 3 minutes, and like these guys are getting paid good, I guess, but like they're bringing in legendary actors and just not using them. So thank God the season finale is next week. Um, I can't take any more of this, so that's about it. Thanks, guys, for watching. So last thing I'll say, if you're not hating me by the end of this, follow and sub. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. Jason J. Daniel. My TikTok is poppin'. Real Jason J. Daniel. If you want to watch my all other 6, yeah, right? Set 5, all 5, yeah. If you want to watch all of my reviews to go along with the show, they're archived in order. You can see them in their own section on YouTube. They're not archived in order. I mean, they're in show order as I record the shows on Rumble, but you can find them there. They're in my highlights section on X. Go to my highlights. You can find the shows on X and check them out. Please follow and sub. I'd really appreciate it. I'm super grumpy. I get it. I do basketball talk. Check it out. So please follow and sub. If you're watching me on X, please follow. I'm sorry. Yeah, follow. If you're watching this on YouTube, please sub or Rumble. Give me a sub. I'd appreciate that. The numbers are really good. You guys are watching, and I thank you so much. I'm going to be doing another show. We'll take some time off. I'll do another show after this. I need to recover. It'll be a hot show that's like everybody's. I'll have to look into what people are anticipating that's coming up. The Boys is coming up. I might be doing that one. I love The Boys. It's got to be a show I love and been waiting on. That I have a history with, and have watched it, or I'll catch up on it. So we'll see. And there you go. And also follow Jason J. Daniel Show on TikTok. I have a TikTok for this show, for my podcast, and I have a TikTok for my sports stuff. 8,000 followers on my sports one. That one's more popping. It's really interesting. Check that out. Got some cool stuff up there. Going viral. Hundreds of thousands views. My last TikTok's at like 400,000 views today from yesterday. Check that one out. Pretty good stuff on that. And there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. And there you go. I appreciate you guys. Have a great day. And what can I say? Make it a good day. Have a good one. Have a good week.